It is 9 o'clock unless you want to wait for Troy.
We'll wait for Troy because he's right here.
Oh,
No, that's Milo.
That's Troy. Ah, how about that?
There's Troy.
Hey, I was here. I was talking with Carol. I apologize.
It's all right.
All right, it is 9 o'clock. Let's open up the February 20th Catalina County Board of Commissioners weekly meeting. We'll start the meeting with the pledge. And how about Milo? Would you lead us in the pledge this morning?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, Milo. Couple of housekeeping chores. If you have a cell phone, please silence it or turn it off if you do get a call. And you need to take it, step out into the rotunda. Appreciate that. This is being streamed live, so if you approach the commission, you're more than likely you will be on camera for sure, not probably. That being said, is there anyone in the audience here that would like to approach the board during the open? Just so that we can, regulate the time and know what time we might need. So, okay. That being said,
Make a motion to
or have a
approve the
motion.
agenda.
We have a motion to approve the agenda
Second.
by Hatton, a second by Van Dusen. That was right, wasn't it?
Correct.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Need a motion to
Move to
approve the
approve
minutes of the
as
February
email.
13th meeting, and we have a motion by Hatton, a second by Lee. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Does sound like there's a little feedback or echo, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Going to turn it down a little bit. Let's go to monthly reports. Going to start out with Milo, facility manager. What you got for us today? It's all good news, right?
All good. Okay, my report this morning doesn't include much that you don't already know, as I've been up here almost weekly, I think, since my last report. Memorial Park has started receiving a few online reservations for 2018. The Ag Building is recovering from the Farm Show week. From a maintenance standpoint, it was almost flawless this year. We did get to try out our snow removal skills during the show, which we haven't had to do for a couple of years, but everything went well. The next major event scheduled there is the Big Boys Toy Show, which is coming up this weekend. Courthouse, we have continued to work on the beginning steps of the office shuffle. I expect to begin working in the auditorium offices within the next 10 days, proceeding with painting and carpeting and whatnot. Detention Center has had their normal bumps and bruises in the past month. Staff has installed or constructed shelving for the sheriff down in the old highway patrol area, and they're going to start moving things around down there anytime. Work has continued on developing the county safety manual. I think our next meeting is scheduled to come up
Monday.
next Monday. Thank you. The maintenance department have addressed and implemented all of the recommendations that were presented by our last safety and risk assessment. And that's all I have for you today.
What time is that meeting on Monday?
Here, I've got it right here.
Probably 10 o'clock?
It says 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock.
Where are you meeting?
In the emergency management conference
Okay.
room.
All right.
And just so the other commissioners know what's going on, we've just taken the Brown County safety manual and basically used that as a guide. Have gone through, we've eliminated some things that didn't really relate to us. Correct, Milo? Correct
That
me
would
if
be
I say
correct.
something wrong. And then we've added some things that we wished, but we're probably about halfway through. That might be a little generous.
That might be a little generous, but it's close.
So it's a project as we're moving through it, so we'll have it available there. We might be able to finish up Monday if you can just keep us from talking. All right. Anything else for Milo? Thank you, Milo. Be sure to pass
you.
along to the crew out at the Extension Center. I did have a chance to talk to a couple of them, but our appreciation for all the work that they've done here in the last week with all of the events going on out there. Been a lot of people have gone through that facility. We appreciate their work very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Anyway,
Milo.
Rick,
Thanks.
how you this morning, Rick? Back shoveling snow again. That's good.
Yes.
See if that equipment works. And they are out. I met them heading north when I came in this morning.
Yeah, they are out. There isn't a lot on the roads. A lot of it did blow off. The sheltered areas, there's some in there.
It's all in my driveway.
Yeah, me too. Right at my south side of my house, there's a bigger drift than anything I've seen on the road this morning.
They had an escort this morning. One of the deputies was in front of them, and highway patrolman was coming the other way, so they were keeping an eye on those boys
good.
out there too, and me.
Don't really have a lot to report other than Cindy, that safety benefits
Oh.
survey that they sent out. I will get it to you. It won't be on the 16th. I was out of town, so
Yeah.
Hopefully by the
I
end
thought
of the
maybe
week.
Rick Hartley would step up and finish.
Yeah.
Okay.
But hopefully I'll get
All
it
right.
to you by the end of the week. And we're
Okay.
going through the safety benefits recommendations. And some of those we've addressed in the past as far as the physical and stuff. So it's going to be more of a letter of explanation that we've already been through this once.
That's fine. I think they're just looking for an answer, so.
Right. Also, while I was gone, I did receive, and came from Cindy's office, I'm sure it was addressed here, a certified mail letter from Dakota Range Wind. There's a meeting, upcoming meeting, March 21st at 5:30 p.m. at the Waverly South Shore School Gymnasium in Waverly. Dakota Range is going to do a presentation basically explaining what their plans are. They're going to have the maps and so forth to show what areas are indicated, and hopefully answer a bunch of questions for the public on that one.
You have some of the maps. Could I get a copy of that?
Yeah, I've got a copy of it.
And the county was notified because apparently we are adjacent landowners
Yeah.
to where something's going?
Right, some of it is going to be right in South Dakota or Cottington County,
Okay.
west of Waverly, the northwest 2 miles north and 2 miles west. There's an area where there will be towers. West of Punished Woman's Lake, there will be towers. I haven't seen any specific numbers in Cottington County, but at one point they were talking in this mapped area down the road. They were looking at possibly 300 towers in that area, so it'll be a substantial undertaking.
Rick, that was on March 21st at 5 p.m.?
5:30.
5:30 p.m. Yep.
Okay. All right.
The next item I have is regarding our fuel bid, or lack of, when we had our bid letting. The top 2 pages is a copy of South Dakota Codified Law 518A-5, and it's in regards to competitive sealed bids. If you go to the second page, I have highlighted in yellow paragraph in there. As in our case, we did not receive competitive sealed bids. And as it reads, it says, if after advertising for bids, no firm bids are received, the purchasing agency may negotiate a contract for the purchase of the supplies, services, or public improvement projects at the most advantageous price, if the specifications of the original bid are met. I spoke with Jared Landmark, CEO of Sioux Valley, and on the next 2 pages, the next page, he does have a price, as they've given in the past. On the bulk transport loads, the top one is delivered to our tanks for the dyed diesel, and the E10. Now, the E30, we do not have any tanks for that or anything. And the next paragraph down, delivery to the 500-gallon storage out tanks, similar. And the prices stated there are about 24 cents in the ballpark, 20 to 26 cents higher than what it was last year. It's a good price. But on the following page, they also presented a proposal to go 6 cents below the posted or the pump price at the time. So if I was to order diesel fuel for Watertown on a specific day, I would get it 6 cents below the non-tax price at their pump at that particular day. And that's well within legislative audit
Requirements.
requirements, and I'm not sure, at this point, there's nothing on the agenda for action. I'm going to take a look at it and look at the projections, futures for the rest of the year, and come back next week with a recommendation whether, in my opinion, we should take the firm price or go with the 6 cents per gallon. In the past, I've looked at it and recommended the firm price this year with the volatility of the stock market the way it has been recently. I think I need to take a pretty good look at it. Also in his letter, the letter reflects, or his proposal reflects, that this would be for all the cards within
Right.
Cottington County, so this would cover the sheriff, emergency management. The cards that they have would be, if the county goes with this proposal, would be for that.
Just to clarify on his letter, he does mean March 1st, 2018 to February 28th, 2019. He's got 18 written
18,
down,
yep.
right? So
Yep.
he does mean 19?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's, like I said, he's been very good to work with, and by codified law, we're without receiving the firm bids, we're able to do this, and as it worked out pretty good. Also, I did receive, while I was gone, they received my new pickup, got the radio and everything mounted in it. Everything's ready to go. I just have to take care of the paperwork. I haven't seen the signed title or taken care of.
We have, it's on our list of claims to pay today, too.
Okay. And, yeah, it went extremely fast. I wasn't really expecting it this fast. My hat off to Sharp Chevrolet. They did an excellent job on rounding one up and getting it, and also to the guys at the shop. I was gone 1 week, and they've got everything transferred over, ready to go.
Did the insurance company take possession of the old one?
Not at this point. They will.
Okay.
Yeah, we've still got a few little things to take out of it, but basically operational. The one I have now has got the lights and all my radio and distance measuring and stuff in it. There's a few small things we have to transfer, yeah.
Okay.
Anything else for Rick? I do, the one thing that I would mention is that I certainly hope that our employees, and I want you to take a look at E30. E30 is, I think, proved itself as a good, reliable source of fuel. I use it all the time. I've used it in new cars, and I've used it in cars that aren't, equipped for ethanol. I've never had lick of trouble, and there's a lot of documentation. I think the city uses E30.
We do.
The city does, yeah. And I think we will be getting a number of cards at the county. That's still something I have to visit with Jared about getting myself, one for sure, and Assistant Rick Hartley, one for sure. And then we may get another 1 or 2 office cards, so that when somebody needs fuel for a pickup for a meeting in Aberdeen or something, they can take that card and use it. But,
Good. Okay, anything else? Thank you, Rick.
all right, thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
All right. Brad, Sheriff's Department. Good morning.
Morning,
Good.
Brad.
In fact, if you look at the agenda, I think we're going to have his report, and then I think he's 5, 6, and 7 as well, so.
Yeah.
We got you here, we're gonna keep you here. State's attorney will just have to bear with us. We'll move right along. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Good.
All right, well, we'll start out with the monthly balance sheet there on the front page. Bank balance end of January was $9,023.50. If you jump down, we collected $24 in copy fees, $7,980 in sheriff's fees were collected, and $430 in warrant fees, for a grand total of $8,434. Jump to the next page there. Lee's got it pulled up on the big screen. The sheriff's office responded to 496 cases and calls in January. They had 14 accidents that were responded to. 63 warrants were served. 252 civil papers were served. And then another busy month for transport miles. We did 4,870 miles. And that broke down to, I think, 20 transports. We hauled 28 people in those transports. You want to scroll down a little bit more? Talk about some of the jail activity. For January, we've seen 66.42 for our average daily population. Our high ADP was 76, and our low was 59. We have, on the 24/7 program, on the Scram bracelet, we have 26 people wearing the Scram bracelet. We had 43 people coming in twice weekly for their, or twice daily for their PBTs, and 44 people on the twice weekly UAs. 0 people on the sweat patch, and we did a total of 232 bookings for the month of January.
Can I just comment on that, Mr. Chairman? Just in the last Justice Advisory Committee meeting on Tuesday last week, we had an updated report from Bill Garnos, who was the jail consultant we hired back in 2015. He's doing updates with the new data, new ADPs basically for free. So from mid-2015 on, and so you can kind of see the projection going up, but it looks like we're coming off the spike that we had over the past year. That looks like it started coming down somewhere in July or August timeframe on this, and so but you can see that if people want to go and look at that online, it's online on our Justice Advisory Committee webpage, but you can see how the previous spike had an effect on the projected numbers over the next many years.
Yep. You want to scroll down just a little bit more. On out-of-county contracts for January, we collected $8,630. We collected $8,175 in work release fees. 24/7 fees, we collected $5,648. And then Scram fees, we collected $5,628.
Yeah, any questions, Brad? Okay, you want to go right on to number 5 then, Brad?
Is that the reserve program?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And in your packet is the letter to support Brad's project. Then we'll need to take action for me to sign the letter.
Okay. I'll explain kind of what the reserve program is. The reserve program is a program where civilian people off the street can come in and become a certified reserve deputy.
That's the original.
They can serve in the capacity as an officer and carry a firearm, enforce laws, and it's something that they would donate their time to come in and do. There is a little bit of expense on the county. We would have to buy some equipment, just like I'd be wearing, a bulletproof vest and firearms and all that. There is some training. There's a minimum of 100 hours of training that goes into this program. I'm guessing there'd be a little bit more with our agency just to try to get everything up to once you go through policy and everything. So that's kind of, I think it'd be a good thing for the community.
I'd make a motion then to.
I'll second
We
that.
have a motion by Lee, a second by Hanton, for the chair to sign the letter of support. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and it's already done. I signed it just now. Next item then is authorized monthly cell phone stipend for Tyler Varnas.
Tyler was a part-time deputy. He was hired full-time in January, so he wasn't on last year's cell phone stipend list, so I guess that's. so that's
This
good.
is per legislative audits. Everybody who gets a cell phone stipend, they want their name published in the minutes once a year. And since Tyler was not full-time when we did the first round, that's why we're doing this one separate.
This is a budgeted item, and how much does he get for a stipend?
40, I believe.
I'll make that motion.
A motion by Hatton, second by Gable. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. All right, then the next is authorize the purchase of 2 new cars, or 2 new vehicles, I guess. I shouldn't say cars, be a little bit careful there, for the patrol cars for the sheriff's department.
For 2018, we budgeted for 2 patrol vehicles for the deputies. Plan on getting rid of old Ford Taurus that we have, and look at getting rid of old patrol spare vehicle that we have, an old Durango. So we submitted. I asked in January to submit bids out locally here. We received bids just from Watertown Ford. Ford Interceptor vehicle. I was looking at one of those, an all-wheel drive vehicle, and that bid came in at $30,531. And then I got a bid for a Dodge Ram 1500 crew cab pickup as well, and that came in at $26,673. Compared those to the state bid price, a little bit. The Dodge Ram came in under the state bid price. The Ford vehicle came in right a little bit higher, but by the time you pay shipping fees with the state bid, it comes in comparable.
I'll make a motion to authorize a purchase.
So we
of
have
those
a motion by Van Dusen, a second by Gable.
Second.
Any discussion? What color? I always have to circle it.
Yeah, we are looking at maybe changing maybe to a tan or a silver color for our patrol vehicles. So just looking at those options as well and see how. they
See,
work.
everybody thought it was going to be white, right?
Yeah.
Brad,
There
that
you go.
reserve deputy, is that a position, just to back up on that, I guess, we kind of moved through that pretty quick, and that reserve deputy, are they gonna have a vehicle to drive, or how do you plan on
Initially,
doing that?
no. Initially, they're gonna be with a full-time officer until they hit a minimum set hours for training purposes. Once they hit their hours and they're comfortable being on their own, and administration is comfortable them being on their own, that's something that we would look at that time. Maybe
So
they
is that,
have
they'll come in and grab a vehicle and then take it out?
One of the nice things about this is they'd be able to supplement and help full-time officers. That program isn't designed to take away from a full-time officer. It's there to supplement and assist full-time officers. So what will be nice with that is some of them transport miles, should be able to help maybe use them for that. You can utilize them for civil process, utilize them for jail calls, maybe possibly court security, to calls on the street. So something that.
So are these unpaid positions?
These are unpaid positions. It's a
What about
volunteer
workman's
program.
comp? They're considered a volunteer, so
Yeah.
they'd have to be added to our workman's comp.
It'd
Okay,
be real similar to the search and rescue.
okay, all right.
Got it.
Is there a limit to the number of people you think you'll be able to handle on the reserve program?
Like I say, initially, we're gonna start out with a smaller number,
Right.
kind of see what kind of applicants we get. There's a lot of interest in it. We'll kind of review that when we get a little closer. Budget-wise, equipment-wise, it's all gonna kind of determine a little bit on that as well. So,
I certainly, when I reviewed this with Brad earlier, it'd be great if this would help, like the transport alone. Like it was 4,800 miles this month. It's 4,800 miles, but it's a lot of time. A lot of time involved in that, if we can get some volunteer help. And I hope people step up. I know we've had an issue with the Veterans Service officer and getting volunteers to drive that van, and if people will step up and help out, would really appreciate it.
nice thing about a program like this is somebody that's maybe has a business or a family business, or they've been involved with their career where they're kind of stuck maybe in their career. They want to continue with their career, but it gives them an opportunity to serve the community in this fashion. So
This would be something new for us, but the city has done that for numerous years,
Yeah,
so.
I think they've done it for, I'm gonna go over 20 years.
Oh, we've had
maybe.
our reserve program. I started in '94. So it's been around a while.
So it does work, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's good.
We have a motion and a second
On the patrol vehicles, we
Yeah.
do need to vote on that.
Yep.
Good, thanks.
on the patrol vehicles, and we have a motion and a second, and that was by
Van
Van
Duzen and
Duzen and
Gable.
seconded by Hatton,
Gable.
Gable, I'm sorry. Any more discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Brad.
Brad. Anything else for Brad? Anything else?
Good. The architects are around today.
Yep,
So-
got one.
All right, let's go then to number 8.
No, back to number 4.
Oh, back to number 4.
State's attorney.
State's attorney, I'm sorry, Becky. And she has a new employee with her.
I do.
Good to meet you.
Yes, I asked to be put on the agenda here today to bring Rebecca Ryder. I actually think I don't think we've had a motion in front of the commission to approve her.
Did you submit a personnel change?
I did,
form?
though.
Then that handled.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yep.
Okay. She started on February 1 as the new deputy in the state's attorney's office. And so she's enjoying, I think, the first couple weeks, and she'll be starting to handle magistrate court alone here today.
What's your background? Where'd you go to school?
I started school in Florence, and I ended up graduating high school from Watertown here, and then I went down to USD and got my bachelor's in criminal justice and political science, then went straight through into law school at USD and graduated in 2016. After I graduated, I took the bar and passed, thankfully, on the first try, and began working here in Watertown at Austin Hindrocker, just right down the street.
Sure. So you didn't move up the street too far.
Nope, not too bad.
Well, good to have you aboard.
Thank you.
Can you go down and prepare one? Because we are doing payroll this week, so we can do,
Today?
yeah,
It's kind of important right now.
yeah.
All right, but that's
Welcome.
what we had for this morning.
No, I have one more thing. I already forewarned Cindy, and I don't know if you can hang around, but I will declare an executive session so we can review the negotiations with the labor union.
Yep, I can come.
But what we did, we sat there for over 2 hours, Commissioner Waterman and Becky and I and Terry Sadler. And Becky had her cell phone the whole time on speakerphone so Terry could participate, and it worked well. And I said, now you get a stipend for that. She said, no. So I'm going to recommend that we do give Becky a stipend for her cell phone, and we'll have to do that at the next meeting. We'll have to put it on the agenda, just to give you a heads up. And I said, I'd help her out with this, but she uses it for depositions and a lot of different things. And not only just for her husband to tell her to bring home milk and bread, right? So, there you go. Appreciate your help and
Thanks.
welcome aboard. Anything else? Anything else from anyone? Okay, good.
Welcome.
Can you hang around then?
Yep,
Just
I'll actually go talk to Jody for a little bit.
Thank you. Very good. All right, then, let's go to Wade. Thank you, Cindy, for
Yep.
getting me back on track here. Review of estimate of delinquent taxes on land value of tax deed property located in Henry, and you do have in your packet a copy of the findings. And Mr. Larson is here with us today in the audience, and he did not know, and he did not bring a formal written proposal to us today, and that's what we would need to take action. And I guess I would ask Mr. Larson, could that be possible next week? So if we put it on the agenda for next week, that we could act on it. We can't do anything with it today. But as you can see, there's the taxes on the land only. This is just on the land.
And this is not the actual value that the director has on the land. This is the $7,500 that I was instructed to use to prepare land taxes.
And so back taxes would amount to $2,100.37. Is that correct? Are we right on?
That is with interest.
Yep, with the interest. 2137. And you have this, a copy of this? Okay, do you have any questions? Now, it doesn't mean that we're going to for sure accept it or not, but we need to at least get it on the agenda. Yes. Yeah.
Mr.
Yes.
Chairman, just, so what's the sense of our body about this, using 7,500? I mean, that was kind of the figure we had, the Director of Equalization. So is that, I mean, you may not, that may be something to think about as we're doing this, if we're comfortable with that land value.
I don't remember, I guess, what is the actual land value according
Kinda
to what our
talked in-
records show?
We talked in rough terms, last,
Yeah.
when we talked about this previously.
Because do we have that breakdown, Cindy? But-
$4,800 is the assessed land value.
Pardon?
$4,800 is the assessed.
Just the land.
Just
It's
the
just
land,
the land,
okay.
yep.
Okay.
So that's where we're sitting right at this point.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
not to interrupt, when the land value was $7,500 and then there was the appraised value of $4,800, is that what you said, Cindy?
Yeah, the Director of Equalization have the land appraised at $4,796.
Would that be in a restored condition or would that be in an unrestored condition?
That is the value that is currently on the property. I
With the
don't know.
building, with whatever's on that lot right now, right?
This is just the
As
lot.
is, where is.
That's what the lot is valued at in the Director's office at this time.
I don't think it says improved or unimproved on the assessment document, so.
Now, the one thing we need to remember is that if the city of Henry does purchase this land and they use it for what they're telling us that it'll be used for, it will go off the tax rolls.
Correct.
And I don't know the rest of you, but every equalization is coming up very soon, and I've shared the letter that I get. I don't think it's a copy, but it's basically the same letter from one of our constituents in my neighborhood out there that really has heartburn about tax exempt property. And every time we add another parcel, I get another letter. And we do have quite a bit of tax exempt property, and it's mostly, churches and schools, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just telling you that when we do this, that just, reduces our tax revenue. Maybe it's just a little bit, but it's a lot of little bits add up after a while. So that's my 2 cents worth. Anybody have anything else they'd like to add? Okay, then we will put it on the agenda for next week, and we will act on it one way or the other. Mr. Larson, you kind of have your marching orders now. You know what we need.
Right, yeah.
All right? Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
All right, thank you for coming. Let's go on then to number 9, action to approve claims for payment. Do we have any today? We do.
Yeah, I laid a few on your desks before the meeting started. It's our normal credit card bills that we need to pay at this time of the month to avoid service charges. We also had a claim to the South Dakota Electrical Commission for an inspection fee license, which we are required to have. That's $50 a year. Tyler Varnes, the sheriff, asked to have his cell phone stipend for the month of February at $40, and then half the month of January at $20, because he did start in the middle of the month in January. And then the Visa bills, $115.23 in the sheriff's budget for fuel, $661.28 for the days in Pierre, for training for certain employees in Pierre. And then the emergency management was $344.55 to Visa for miscellaneous supplies. And then to Sharp Chevrolet, $31,101 for the 2018 Chevy Silverado for the highway
Move
department.
to approve those
Motion by
claims.
Hatton approves, second by
Second.
Waterman. Any discussion? Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Number 10, discussion possible action to make or clarifying amendments to the list of commissioner, liaison, and board appointments, and Lee has been working on that, and we have another copy in our packet. It does say draft across it, so did everybody have a chance to review it, look at it? Do you need more time, or are we good to go?
Good to go.
I see some heads shaking.
I think it should be
I
good.
make a motion.
We have a
to-
motion by Gable
Second that.
and a second by Hatton to accept this liaison, board appointment, commissioner responsibilities and duties. All-
Mr. Chairman, if I can,
Yep.
I'll put, I think it'd be good to put this online, just so people know. It's kind of like, say, for legislator, committee appointments. So this is kind of the day-to-day of what we do, not just in these meetings. So that's kind of the idea. I think whoever thought of this originally, so these are just edits from.
Is that all right with everyone else?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
It's a
Okay.
transparency.
Any more discussion?
And if there are any edits, we can add that to the motion too, so.
Yeah, this is not etched in stone. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Any budget supplements today?
No, sorry.
Okay,
You're talking to me.
I'm sorry. And
I was thinking
personnel changes, we have one,
We
for sure.
should
here.
have two, maybe.
Maybe two, sure, it's already.
I don't know if she's going to get that one back to us before you adjourn. The first one we've got is Ashley Lindner in the treasurer's office. She is a clerk. She's due her anniversary step increase to step 5, $16.88 an hour. And the other one is to approve the hiring of the new deputy state's attorney, Rebecca Ryder.
Make that motion.
We have a motion by Hatton, second by Van Duzen. Any discussion? I can sign her.
Yeah,
So-
it's fine, it's fine.
As long as we approve it here, we're okay.
The state's attorney, the state's attorney will determine the step that she starts at
Very
according
good.
to our pay scale.
Any more discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
There she is right here.
There she is, okay.
Yep.
Rebecca. Reiter. Correct. Okay, good. Come bring it on up. That's what we're doing right now.
Just did it.
Very good.
It's efficiency.
You guys haven't been busy or anything either, have you?
The done deal now. She's on payroll. All right.
So
we're
are
just about- we're
all
just
your
about finishing
positions
up here.
full now? Okay.
Okay, any travel requests? I didn't see any.
We need to vote on the personnel changes.
Oh, okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Travel requests, I didn't see any.
None.
Okay, old business, do we have any mature business to?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, just
Yes, sir.
if I can hit a couple things. We're talking about hold on one second here. The budget for the remodel project and all the things that Milo's getting to, and so I just wanted to show you how the cost is tracking. I have it on the screen up there. So the total we have budgeted in the government buildings part of the budget for this project is $1,377,000 if you add those two top numbers together there. And then the basic way it budgets out, and this is mostly the architect's estimate, which we use to fund the bulk of the project, plus a little bit for the other remodel-related things that Milo is doing. So based on Milo's research, where that cost is about that bottom number. I don't know if you can see my mouse wiggling around there. A little over 30,000, so close to 31,000. But we did save a little bit of money in this part of the budget because we paid some of the architect fees. They billed us before the end of the calendar year for part of their fees, and so essentially we don't have to pay that going into this year. So that's why that number there, where it says $134,683, that's less than $160,000, which is their bill, basically what we agreed to pay for their architect and engineering fees. So then these are the actual bills on the actual column, of course, is the actual bills we've been paying. So, and then another thing we put aside was $23,000 into the nurses part of the budget, so that we could pay for the rent of the office space that's where the Kranz Insurance building was, and so that amount there is 9 months' rent, just to show that $15,300. So, and then the other thing to keep in mind that we've asked the architect to look at is the potential. This is just a ballpark. There's 80,000 here, but adding a security checkpoint, which was something that we thought of after we started looking at the remodeling. So that's something we have to keep in mind. The other thing to highlight here, if you see where this heavy black line is, this is around the contingency amounts. So these are amounts to plan for inflation and changes in the project, so things that might come up. So the $91,136, that's a factor from the construction fees up here. It's just a percentage. I want to say I forget, but I want to say it's 10 or 11% of that fee, of that figure. So to account for inflation or just construction costs, things that you just can't predict definitively. So that's basically it. And then the architects are going to be in town today, mostly to talk about this line, the courtroom IT, the technology that goes into the court nowadays to make things more efficient. So that's what's going on there. They're planning, if the weather permits and they get here, we're planning to have a meeting with Bruce's assistant, Anthony Enright, and the court folks, so that we can talk about the specifics of the technology they'll need in the courts. So that's today.
All right.
And just another old business item, Mr. Chairman, we had a Justice Advisory Committee last week, Tuesday night, and it was no real action was taken. We did have a lot of good discussion. A couple things to highlight. We did get an update, as I mentioned, when the sheriff was here, to Bill Garnos's jail population projections, and that accounts for in the spike we had that lasted roughly a year, and over the past, it looks like it started going down this fall. So, and so that, because that spike is in Mr. Garnos's computations, that makes the projection pretty high when you look out 20 years or 30 years from now. So our hope is that that was just a spike, but right for now it's kind of mathematically accounted for in that. So people can take a look at that if they have trouble finding it online, but it's on the Justice Advisory Committee webpage. It's just an update. So Bill's been good enough to do those for free. So he plugs our numbers from the jail into that to give us a good projection. And it's just mathematical, so that it does mean, we have to keep on working on the facility, but we also have to keep on working on alternatives, like the 24/7, like the mental health initiatives that we're working. So, and then the other thing that came out of the meeting, I think, and the paper touched on it as well, is that as we talked about a timing for a vote on the jail, the general feel was that we wouldn't be asking about that this fall. So, and that's for a couple different reasons. That folks can take a look at the draft minutes. We just posted them over the weekend as well. So, thank you.
Lee, would you forward those numbers to us?
Yeah, I just finished it up this morning. So.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anything else for old business?
I guess old business, a few weeks back, we did approve allowing the Pro Pheasants Banquet to transfer their liquor license, and I did attend that. There was no incident, so once again, everything went flawless and well attended. So,
how many people go attend that roughly?
Lots.
Dr. Myers said 500.
It's full.
Said
Yeah.
500.
Yeah. And it's just always reassuring when we do those sorts of things that, like they said, it was all good and no incidents. It was.
Anything else? How about new business? Any new business? How about anything for the open?
For the open, there could be a quorum of commissioners. Tomorrow's Watertown Day in Pier. I don't know if anyone else is going. I'm attending that. You guys probably won't go to ladies' night at the event center Friday night, so it's about all I have other than planning and zoning, which they do mention next Tuesday at 12:30.
Do you want to mention that we're meeting with the
And
two?
yes, our meeting last week with the 2 city council members and the sheriff and chief of police, we weren't able to have that, so we rescheduled now for this Friday at 11:30, so.
The planning and
Continuing.
zoning, that was the 27th, right?
Yes, 27th at 12:30. And that's just our regular one, that won't be the ordinance update one, that's just our normal planning and zoning meeting. We are having 2 a month basically now to try to work through our ordinances, so. One will be strictly ordinance changes, and the other one is our normal meeting.
The ordinance meeting we had the other day, we're looking at the wind ordinance right now, and we didn't finish it. Well, hopefully we'll be able to finish that up with one more meeting, but we had a lot of discussion. We read it in the paper, and of course, there's that meeting, as Rick indicated here, up in
21st.
Waverly, and so I've been getting a number of calls and emails from constituents in that area, so.
Basically, the next meeting that we have, we didn't even touch on the setbacks, so that will be the main topic of discussion, I believe, the next
Yeah,
meeting.
we're talking about, it was, I attended just as a spectator, and that was, if I understand what the process correctly, this is still the public input, where we're getting the
Yep.
ideas and the changes that they want to make. So a lot of what you guys touched on was noise, and, well, it was mostly noise.
Noise,
Primarily,
basically.
the noise is the big
Yeah,
thing,
whether-
I guess.
And then we
Some
will,
decibel levels.
once we get to that point, there will be the public meetings and hearings and
Yeah.
to adopt it.
So this is just input, this isn't even a
Yeah.
public hearing.
No,
so,
this is just
yeah.
input.
Yeah.
And we mentioned this before, we do have another safety meeting on Monday. Other than that, I guess that's all I don't have anything other than that. Okay. That being said, I would like to request an executive session, and that's in reference to contract negotiations.
Make a motion that we go into executive
We have a motion to go into
session.
executive session, a second by Brenda, second by Waterman. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, we're executive session, and Becky will be joining us.
There'll be no business
There'll
after
be no
the
business.
executive session?
There'll be no business. So, and it'll be a short session, so